Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the pre-stream. I am Darkside Phil. Today is Sunday, September 13th, 2015, and welcome to our one gameplay stream for the day. This is going to be Metal Gear Solid 5, another 3 hours or so of gameplay. And if you've been following along the playthrough, you know that I am, from what people are saying, more than halfway through the game. And I got a little bit more of an idea of what to expect coming up in the game via people on Twitter this morning. They were telling me some things. So, apparently, if, I'm going to progress on here with the story. I just completed, I think it was story mission number 22, and we're about to start 23. Apparently, once you hit a certain level of the main missions, they repeat, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. And I've actually been seeing a lot of people criticize this game strongly and say, why the heck do missions repeat only on a harder difficulty, that it's totally not necessary and it's padding, and, you know, they could have done a better job with that. Now, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see for myself once we get to that point what exactly is going on. But apparently, from what I'm to understand, at one point, once we complete enough of the story missions, it's going to open up what's called Chapter 2. Which will have critical missions that are story missions, but also these repeating missions. And you could choose whether or not you want to do them or not. Apparently you don't have to. If you just want to complete the game, the standard method, you could just complete the story missions and finish the game. Or, if you want to do them all, and if you want to get the super duper secret true ending, you need to do not only every single story mission, you need to do every single main mission, and then you also need to do all of the side content. So that's pretty intense when you think about the amount of content in the game and the amount of missions in the game, right? To do everything. And that's why people are saying if you really want to play the entirety of the game, it's about 100 hours long. So let's be honest here. Let's talk a little bit about this. Am I going to be doing all of the content of the game? Well, here's the thing, ladies and gents. Let's talk turkey, all right? Right now, as you know, I'm juggling Metal Gear Solid 5 with Mad Max, with Fallout New Vegas, and on Friday I started Mario Maker, which was really fun. I had a lot of fun playing Mario Maker on Friday, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. In fact, overwhelmingly, I'm getting messages. People are saying, Phil, you've got to keep playing it. Do some more online, levels that were created. Do some more from your fans. Make some more of your own. Keep playing because you'll unlock the new content and stuff. Okay. So I've decided that at the very least tomorrow, Monday, I'll be playing more Mario Maker. Okay. So yes, that's going to also be in the mix this week. If people want more Mario Maker after Monday, I'll play it again. Another session at some time later this week. Maybe on, say, Friday. Okay. So, all that being considered, the thing is, this week in particular coming up, there are no new releases. I'm going to say that again. There are no new releases. Yes, I'm fully aware that Destiny the Taken King is coming out. That is not a new release. That is an expansion and or minor tweaks to a game that was incredibly overhyped, incredibly disappointing, and basically a disgrace for a game developer like Bungie to even have put out. And the fact that so many people bought it because they're sheep and they just listen to what the fucking advertisements say is insane. It's so funny because even in this case, this is a case, Destiny is a case of a game where even the mainstream gaming media kind of said this game's not very good, but people still fucking bought it and played it just because of the hype and the media hype behind it, the marketing behind it. They fell for it because they're dumb sheep. I hate to say it. The game's not very good. I played the whole game and I wasn't impressed by any point in the game whatsoever. So that's the major release this week, is Destiny the Taken King, and I'm not doing it. I refuse. I refuse to spend any more money on that game. It's a waste of time, and it's a waste of everyone's, time and money. And if you want to see people play it, go watch some guy who wants to waste another, $40 playing the same fucking game for another 20 to 30 hours. Because the game sucks. It's terrible. So, ladies and gents, since there's no real new release... Oh, by the way, there was supposed to be another release this week. It was supposed to be Mighty Number 9, And that game got delayed until 2016, which is quite unfortunate. People have been waiting for this game, the spiritual successor to Mega Man, Rockman, whatever you want to call it, for years now, and the game just keeps getting delayed, and now it's been delayed till 2016. So we still have no idea when it's going to be released. So there are no new releases this week. For my intents and purposes, there's nothing coming out. So that means this week, I can focus on Metal Gear Solid 5 more. I can focus on playing a little bit more of Mad Max, a little bit of Fallout, and I can focus on Mario Maker. Also, later this week, Hate Live returns. Yes, my podcast will return, and I'm going to give everyone a big cumulative recap of everything that I've been up to over the past month to month and a half since I've done a Hate Live podcast. I'm going to talk about the copyright bullshit and how I got it resolved, and a little bit of behind-the-scenes talk there about stuff. I'm going to talk about my unfortunately being sick and how that affected stuff. I'm going to talk about my thoughts about Until Dawn and my thoughts about all the games that I've been playing over the past several weeks. I'm going to give my opinions on the Street Fighter V beta, which I didn't even have a chance to really talk about because I played it when I was sick and I couldn't even talk, and I really haven't given any opinions on that. I'm going to basically do a big kind of cumulative gaming season update on Hate Live this week. I'm also going to talk about the future, all the games coming out in the next couple of months. I'm going to talk about my holiday specials, which I'm planning. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I haven't done a podcast in over a month. It's going to be a lot of fun to do that on Thursday. So this week is going to be jam-packed with new gameplay content, alright? But getting back to the subject of Metal Gear Solid 5. You know, a lot of people are wondering, what am I going to do with the game? Am I going to do a full playthrough? Well, listen, the bottom line is this. I like the game. I like Metal Gear Solid 5. I think it's a great game. I'm really enjoying it. As I've said, the game gets better the more you play because you're doing R&D and you're unlocking new features and stuff in the game that are kind of interesting. New weapons, stuff like that. Definitely worth it to keep playing. Well, I'm also not a super duper hardcore Metal Gear fan. As you know, until recent years, I never even played the Metal Gear Solid games. In fact, before I started on YouTube making videos, the only Metal Gear game that I had ever played before that was actually Metal Gear Solid 4. And as everyone knows, you know my opinion on that game. I think it's more of a movie than a game, which is certainly not the case with Metal Gear Solid 5. They, Kojima really mixed it up and said, okay, we're going to go light on the story so you can have tons and tons of gameplay, which it seems is what everyone wanted and didn't get in Metal Gear Solid 4. Okay? So, ladies and gents, the bottom line is this. I'm going to beat the game. Yes, I'm on pace to beat the game, Metal Gear Solid 5, probably within a week or two. If I keep playing it as much as I'm playing it, probably within a week or two max, I will definitely beat the game. The only way that I would consider doing the true ending of the game is if there's just not a lot going on, if I start beating stuff more quickly than I had anticipated or pretty quickly. For example, Fallout New Vegas, it looks like another couple sessions and I might actually complete the game. So if that's the case, right, then maybe I'll have a little bit of extra time. Now, like I said, there's no new releases this week. However, next week there's a new survival horror game called Soma that's coming out, and I'm actually pretty excited for that one. Apparently it's from the makers of Amnesia, and it's a new IP, so I'm interested in trying this one out. People love to see me play survival horror games. So if people even want it, I might do face cam similar to how I did with Until Dawn, and I might even keep the stream chat closed. People seem to love it when I keep the stream chat closed for those survival horror games. So I might do that. And then at the end of this month, I'm definitely checking out Tony Hawk. There's a new Tony Hawk game. I don't know if I'm going to be checking out NBA 2K this year. I'm still on the fence about it. Alright, I don't know if that's what I should play or not. And the reason being is 2 years ago when I played it, it was a massive hit. People loved it. Because I'd never played an NBA 2K game before, and it was the first one on the PlayStation 4. Last year, we had some fun at the beginning of my playthrough doing the face scan stuff that didn't want to fucking work, right? And, but then once the face scan stuff was done, really the fun kind of ended there. The game wasn't very good in regards to longevity, you know? It wasn't as good, in my opinion, as the previous year. This year, I don't know if it's even worth it. I don't know if it's even worth it to try to play, NBA, or if maybe I should give it a break, because here's the thing. When you play sports games every single year, you know what I mean? When you play it every year, it loses its appeal. Maybe if I don't play it this year, maybe next year, it'll be, wow, we haven't seen Phil play a basketball game in a couple of years, now I'd like to see it, you know? So, I might just wait. I might just wait and not play NBA this year. I'm kind of on the fence about that. And there are rumors, there are some rumors that there may be episodic releases this month, either Game of Thrones or Life is Strange. Now, I don't know if I should believe any of that, because as you know, Life is Strange was supposed to come out in July, didn't come out until like August. So I really don't think that that's coming out in September. I don't. There is potential that the final episode of Game of Thrones could come out this month. So if it does, I'm going to play it. But, ladies and gents, yeah, the only way that I would really consider doing a ridiculous amount of extra content on Metal Gear is if there's just nothing else to do. And the thing is, with all the stuff going on this month, there's still 2 new games this month. I got to do a lot more of Mad Max, which I really have put a little bit on the back burner to focus on Metal Gear, right? And I definitely want to play more Mario Maker. After that first session, I'm like kind of really excited to play more. Just that I decided I was going to do Metal Gear all weekend because I know more people turn out for my streams on the weekends than usual. And I wanted to give people, you know, the game that everyone wants to see when more people are available. So, I don't know. I'm undecided. I'll let you know. I'll think about it. I'll let you know. We'll have to see how things go, right? We'll see how things go, and if things go well, then great. Then maybe I will, you know, continue to play Metal Gear. You also have to factor in that Metal Gear Online is coming out in October. And I am going to want to check that out when it is released as part of this game. But I don't want to get so bored with the game, and I really get the feeling that if I play so much Metal Gear in 1 month that I'll get kind of burnt out. Right now, I'm kind of on the level where at least there's enough story going on and variety in the missions going on that I'm not getting burnt out. But we are approaching, you know, that we are in the second half of the game, and I'm worried that side content and stuff that I do is going to start to get a little bit more boring, or, if anything, tedious. And I don't want to get burnt out on Metal Gear, and then online comes out and I'm not interested in it. You know what I mean? So we shall see. We'll see what happens. I won't promise anyone anything. I'll definitely promise you this. I'm beating the game at least the standard ending. Okay? I don't know if I'll be doing the true ending, because I really don't know if I have that much time to invest in this game, quite honestly. Although I am, you know, enjoying the game. I'm trying to be a realist here, and I certainly don't want to, you know, say to everyone, oh yes, you know, I'm definitely going to be doing over 100 hours of gameplay. And that would be pretty, unfair, I think, to promise everyone stuff like that, and then, you know, then I don't come through. So I'd rather not do that. I'd rather be realistic here, and say, definitely I'm beating it, I just don't know how much I'll be playing of it, okay? So that's really all I have to talk about on the pre-stream, except for a little bit about Patreon. So please bear with me as I do a little bit of a plugging here and an update. Patreon, or patreon.com/DarksidePhil was successful in the month of August. I have messaged all of the August patrons on patreon.com. I've got a few responses. I didn't get too many yet. I'm honestly hoping that I get more, because I'm thinking that possibly some people have not checked their inboxes yet, so I hope they certainly will. But, yeah, Patreon was successful in August, and I'm hoping that we can have a successful September. And the big goal for this month that I announced yesterday, I don't know how many people watched the pre-stream for yesterday, but the big goal for Patreon this month is a Halloween horror-themed special marathon. I've never done this before. I've never done a holiday marathon, and I'm excited to do it this month. If we can hit our $1,250 goal, which is my typical top goal on Patreon every month, we can raise that much in the month of September via pledges. I'm going to be doing a 7+ hour horror-themed stream on Halloween, October 31st. And $5 pledges in the month of September will allow you to nominate and vote on the game and or games that I will be playing during that marathon. Now, the way I see it is that we can either be gameplay of a varied different survival horror or just horror themed games, or it could be one game where I play for 7 hours. So it all depends on, you know, on what exactly people want to see, and it's going to be in the hands of the patrons. So the patrons can say, wow, you know, let's see Phil play one of those Silent Hill games that he never played before for, you know, the whole marathon. Or it could be, no, let's see Phil play this kind of indie survival horror style game for a couple hours, and then we want to see him play this other game for a couple hours. Man, we'd really like to see him replay maybe Alan Wake for a little bit, you know, stuff like that. So, I'm excited to see what people come up with, because it's really going to be in the hands of the patrons. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people will nominate and vote on for this marathon. I really am. I'm excited. And it's going to be pretty cool to see what exactly, you know, people vote for. I guarantee you I'm going to get trolled, and someone's going to vote for, like, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, 3, and 4. Like, motherfucker, really? Those games suck, and everyone knows those games suck. Yet, people still buy them because they like to watch YouTubers act like little ninny girls and scream, and then they buy the game for some reason, even though the games are terrible. At least in the case of Five Nights at Freddy's, though, the game developer is apparently a nice guy. He realizes that his success is purely because, not because his game is good, but because of idiots who act like morons and scream at the face cam to get views. And because he made so much money making the 4 games, he donated a ton of it to charity. So I certainly cannot say a negative thing to the guy who developed the games. But I'm curious to see what kind of games people would come up with for a Halloween marathon. Could be fun. So, ladies and gents, that is the top goal, the big goal for the month of September. Keep in mind, if you pledge to my Patreon, you also get perks like verbal shout-outs, text thank you shout-outs. You can get your questions answered on Ask the King. You can get a cool t-shirt. You can get a private Q&A video from me. There's a lot of stuff that you can get via just personal perks. But, you know, the big goal level that I'm aiming towards is this horror-themed special that I certainly hope you know, will turn out pretty well, depending on, you know, what the patrons nominate and vote for. Next month is when they'll be doing it. This month is when you have to pledge. And by the way, there will be some other events coming up in November and December, which I'll also have similar goal levels for that, where the patrons will be participating. I actually got a really good suggestion on my 100th episode of DSP Tries It, which, if you don't know, DSP Tries It had its 100th episode. Anniversary episode, the longest episode ever. It's almost 30 minutes long. It's a double-length episode, and I've got a little bit of reminiscing in it about the series itself, how long it's lasted, over 5 years. And that's up live on my YouTube channel, The King of Hate Vlogs. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you don't usually watch my vlogs, you might want to give it a look anyway. It's kind of fun, right? But an idea, someone left a cool idea in the comments. They said, Phil, for one of your Patreon goals, why don't you have a goal level where people who, you know, pledge, say, $5 a month can actually nominate and vote on items for you to try on DSP Tries It. And I said, you know what, that's actually a good idea, I think. I would be willing to do that as long as it's something that's readily, easily obtainable. Like if it's a fast food chain that people know of and they want me to try a certain thing from a fast food chain, or if it's something I can order online, it's not super expensive, then I'd consider doing that. Obviously, you know, people, oh, Phil, get the In-N-Out special burger. It's like, well, there is no In-N-Out here. So obviously I can't do that, you know. Or, oh, Phil, order this foreign food online and try it out, and to order it's like $35. No, obviously I'm not going to do that. But I'm definitely, you know, being open to the fact that I like the patron interaction. I like the fact that my viewers and people who contribute to my ongoing success can actually control some of my content. It's kind of fun when you think about it, right? So that's an idea of something that I'm going to think about in the future. And I might implement that in future episodes of DSP Tries It via, you know, Patreon. But anyway, I digress. That's another idea I had. So for the month of September, if you pledge right now, patreon.com/DarksidePhil, not only will you get your normal perks, but you're also going to get to be able, if you pledge $5 or more, to nominate and vote on the game and or games that I'll be playing during my Halloween Day horror special. I'm excited. I haven't gotten to do a Halloween special in several years because I've actually been so busy with all the releases and stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be tons of releases. I'm going to be playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Halo 5, WWE 2K16, among other games. But I'm going to take the day out away from that normal content to do this special stream. So, I hope that it'll work out. So please consider pledging. Patreon.com/DarksidePhil. And there's the end of my gratuitous plug for the day. All right. Okay, everyone. So that is it for the pre-stream for Metal Gear Solid 5. I thank you very much for being here live on the stream. Undoubtedly, our stream attendance will jump as soon as I start playing. That's typically what happens. Let's see what happens. Yesterday, we had some hilarity at the end of the stream with a mission ending because apparently the commander I was supposed to kill somehow killed himself. I have no effing clue how that even happened. I'm just, like, still stumped. People are hypothesizing that the guy threw a grenade and the grenade bounced off the wall back at him and he was so stupid he didn't move and he killed himself. I mean, that's some pretty poor AI if that's really what happened. But, what the hell? Still fun, right? So let's continue with another 3+ hours of, well, let's be realistic here, not 3+. It'll be around between 2 and 3 hours of Metal Gear Solid 5 gameplay. Thanks for watching. Let's get started.